good old Leo was just interviewed by Crooks magazine, and the question came up about the church changing its stance on sexual morality, notably homosexuality and so on. And instead of stating what a Catholic Pope would say, that this is the morality of the church, it is the morality of God, okay? This is unchanging moral teaching of the Catholic Church. And this is a matter of mortal sin, something intrinsically evil. And the church must always and everywhere stand for what is right and condemn what is wrong. And this is morally wrong, reprehensible, damaging to souls, leads to hell, condemned by Almighty God. I mean, instead of just make a very definite statement, right? What did he say? He says, well, you know, before you can think about changing teaching, doctrine, you have to change attitudes. So he threw that out there, the prospect of changing attitudes so that as a subsequence to changing the attitudes, then you can change the dogma. But you have to change the attitudes first. But the very fact that Leo said that shows this man is a modernist to the core of his DNA. I mean, he's got modernism in his DNA, this man. Because that's the essence of modernism, that the attitudes, the thinking changes, and the doctrine follows as generations go by. It's modernism because the modern view is the current orthodoxy, and that's the current doctrine. Change the modern view in the next generation or the generation after that, and the doctrine is going to change with it. This is what he's tossing out there to people. This is scandalous. This is scandalous. And it's more than scandalous. It is a betrayal of Christ. It's a betrayal of the faith, betrayal of the church. And this is Leo's answer to this question. About all these men, he had a number of doctrinal questions that were brought up to him. And toward the end, this is what he puts on the table. Got to change the attitudes first. That's what we're working on now. Remember, recently we did a program about the idea of popes having certain roles as they go through the progression. And, you know, somebody was saying that. I didn't invent that, right? But they said that Leo's role now seems to be following Francis, the revolutionary, to kind of get everybody accustomed to Francis's revolutionary ideas so they all accept him, catch up with where Francis was, and then they can make the next step forward. The next Novus Ordo Pope can take it to the next level. But Leo is the one who's supposed to consolidate the revolutionary ideas brought in by Francis, his synodal church and so on. And you realize what Leo is saying is exactly that. I am here to hold this and to bring this to the point where we can change the attitudes. And that's my role, is essentially what he's saying. So we're in the process now, the stage of changing the attitudes so that we can change the doctrine. So change the attitude, change the doctrine. Change the attitude, change the doctrine. Change the attitude, change the doctrine. Continually moving farther and farther away from any faith to what St. Pius X said was the destruction of all faith. Leo is a part of that process, and a very important part of that process. And it made me think, you know, if you had a real Catholic Pope there, and he spoke as a real Catholic Pope, and lived as a real Catholic Pope, what a beacon of light that would be in the world today, in the darkness of today's world, right? If you had a Pius X there, right, or Pius IX, or any of the Piuses, really, basically. But instead, what do you have there? You have the revolutionary modernist, Francis, Leo, and whoever comes next. They're changing attitudes to get people to accept it so they can change the doctrine now.
Yeah.
This is not Catholicism, people. It's not the Catholic faith.